The story of five-star QB B'or Stinney, the greatest dual threat in high school history. Name B'or Stinney. Position, quarterback, dual threat. Height, weight, 6'4", 190 pounds. Hometown, Florence, South Carolina. Rating, 5-star, nation's #1 dual threat QB. Nicknamed the Architect because he builds wins from nothing. Projected college, committed to an HBCU, Florida A&M University or South Carolina State. Highlights, 14,000 plus passing yards, 160 plus passing TDs, 10,000 plus rushing yards, 120 plus rushing TDs. 4x state champion, never lost a game in high school, 100% team captain approval from all 4 years. Broke national records for total yards and TDs as a sophomore, known for film room IQ and street-level instincts. Why HBCU? Despite offers from Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and USC, B'or chose an HBCU. Here's why. In his own words, "I wasn't going to be a piece of someone else's legacy, I came to build my own." The deeper mission. B'or's decision isn't just about football, it's about justice. Integration in sport understands the legacy of black athletes being brought into white institutions for their talent, while black schools were underfunded and erased. He sees his journey as rebalancing history, returning power and revenue to the institutions that birthed legends. The drug epidemic and CIA's role. Growing up in Florence, B'or saw how his uncles and neighbors were victims of a system designed to destroy them. Crack didn't just show up, it was brought in. Then they told us we were broken. He speaks about this often, how athletic success can't distract from the trauma communities still carry. School-to-prison pipeline. Diagnosed with ADHD at 7, B'or was nearly expelled in 5th grade for defiance when he refused to sit still. Coaches saw a problem. Mentors saw a quarterback. They were building cells for us before we could read. Now, he mentors young black boys with learning differences, helping them find identity and confidence beyond labels. Cultural impact. B'or's story represents black excellence without compromise. The return of elite athletes to HBCUs, a reckoning with systemic injustice. The evolution of quarterback leadership, mental, emotional, and spiritual. He's not just a 5-star recruit, he's a 5-star revolutionary.
For decades, historically black colleges and universities were a haven for African-American players, particularly Southern black players who weren't allowed to play for schools like Alabama, Florida, or Texas. While HBCUs had limited financial resources, their teams regularly featured some of the country's best players. Integration changed all that.
In American society, integration takes place in the hands of white institutions. Major college football integration begins to look like that in the sense of sort of, not bringing HBCU teams into your conference, but instead just sort of allowing more and more elite black players into your programs and not caring that HBCU programs might suffer or eventually die because of that.
Like the sport as a whole, HBCU football was dominated by high-powered coaches. Hall of Famers like Jake Gaither at Florida A&M and Eddie Robinson at Grambling, the first college coach to win 400 games.
In order for us to have success, you got to put strength on strength and let weakness go to hell. Now this is what you're going to have to do.
And they were able to draw on an immense pool of talented players.
Let's get off, let's get off!
When you're talking about historical black college, they never got the due that they so rightly deserve. You can't tell me the players that we had to come out of the historical black schools was not better or as good as the guys back in those days who was thought of as Heisman Trophy candidates.
By the 1960s, it was impossible to ignore how good HBCU football had become. In 1963, the Kansas City Chiefs took Grambling's Buck Buchanan with the first pick in the draft. And over the next 15 years, more than 500 HBCU players were drafted, including some of the best players in pro football history.
Alabama, all the schools in the Southeastern Conference who were saying that, blacks weren't good enough to play, which is why Grambling was loaded, why Texas Southern was loaded, why Prairie View was loaded, why Tennessee State was loaded.
The first time that ball is snapped, you got to knock hell out of him and let him know one thing, that, boy, you gonna be in trouble this evening. And the type of ball player you are, you should try to take his head off.
What if the devil didn't knock? He just left a box in your neighborhood. The first time it showed up on our block, it didn't come in no dealer's hand. It came in a government van with no plates. It was 1985, South Central LA. Summer fading, heat still hanging off the concrete like a warning. Streets were tight, money low, tempers high, and people just trying to make it. Now back then, there was an old man named Mr. Harold. He used to sweep the sidewalk like he was protecting sacred ground, always muttering stuff like, "They gonna poison us, and it won't come through the water." Folks laughed, thought he was just old and tired. Then one night around 3 a.m., a black van with no plates crept down the alley behind the liquor store. No lights, no sound, just slid in like it belonged to the shadows. 4 men got out, no neighborhood faces, suits, military posture, looked too clean to be from around here. They opened the back and started unloading sealed wooden crates. Quiet and quick. One behind the dumpster, one under a swing set, one next to the burnt-out corner store. They didn't knock on doors, didn't speak, just left them behind, like a gift wrapped in silence. Next morning, whole block felt off. Kids found those crates first, took pieces out, passed them around. By sundown, something had changed. Some folks moved fast and jittery. Others just sat, staring at walls like they could hear them whisper. People who used to laugh, gone quiet. Folks who worked double shifts, now disappearing for days. And the crates, gone. Mr. Harold stood on his stoop. "That ain't no accident," he said. "That's war. Quiet war." Later, whispers started about how somebody used the neighborhood to fund something overseas, about planes and meetings and things being dropped off and no one would notice or care. And anybody who asked too many questions, they stopped asking. So when folks wonder why certain neighborhoods fell apart like rotting floors, tell them this: we didn't bring the boxes. We didn't pack what was inside, but we sure opened them. And some of us never closed them again. You ever wonder how they choose where to build prisons? It's not about crime, not really. There's something called predictive modeling. It's simple, sinisterly simple. They take test scores, mostly reading scores, 3rd grade. They plug them into a system, and the system spits out a map. If enough kids in a certain zip code can't read at grade level by age 8, that neighborhood gets flagged. Not for support, not for funding, for future incarceration. They don't send tutors, they send architects. Blueprints start rolling, land gets bought up cheap. The prison contracts start before the kids even hit puberty. And it's quiet, because folks think prison gets built where the crime is. But in truth, they get built where the system expects people to fail. Companies invest in it, politicians profit off it. It's a business, and the business need customers. Companies look at those scores and say, in 10 years, we'll need 200 beds from this neighborhood. They're not watching to see who gets better. They're watching to see who doesn't. They don't care why the kid can't read. They just care that the numbers stay low enough to guarantee beds stay full. You ever notice how they shut down schools but open new prisons? That ain't coincidence. That's strategy. It's like a harvest. They're planning failure and reaping black bodies. And when that prison opens up down the road, it was already written in crayon, on a test paper a child never understood. Because in this system, failure isn't a flaw, it's part of the design. And the walls are already being built before the child can even spell freedom. You ever wonder why so many kids, especially black boys, get labeled with ADHD? Let's talk about it. In some schools, when a child struggles to sit still, focus, or follow directions, the first response isn't understanding. It's a label. ADHD, special ed. And here's what they don't always say out loud. For every child labeled, schools can receive extra funding. It's called categorical funding. More diagnosis, more money. So instead of asking why a child is distracted or fidgety, they stamp them, move them to smaller rooms, lower the expectations. And often, they recommend medication. Powerful pills handed out like pencils, not to heal, but to manage, to quiet, to control. Some of those meds, they alter brain chemistry, affect sleep, appetite, emotion, make a child feel numb before they even learn who they are. And once that label is on them, it follows, through school, through life. It's not always about helping them grow. Sometimes it's about making the numbers work. And the scariest part, it all happens quietly. A form, a meeting, a signature. Parents just want help. Teachers are overwhelmed. And behind it all, somebody's cashing a check. But here's the twist. Some of those same kids, they weren't broken. They were gifted, creative, sharp, restless, because their minds moved faster than the classroom ever could. And instead of nurturing it, The system drugged it, stamped it, silenced it. So now the question is, how many brilliant minds were buried under paperwork? And how many more will we lose before we call it what it really is?
This is Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Welcome to Bryant-Denny Stadium, home of the Crimson Tide. This place is charged up and ready for a big game today. Both teams have circled this game on their schedule. Two of college football's elite colliding here in a matchup of top 5 teams early in the season. As we'll see a team coming off a crucial bye week, the Crew looking to make a strong statement. Taking on the 4th-ranked team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. 3A Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler, here in the booth with Kirk Herbstreit. I think we've talked long enough, Kirk. Let's get this game going. Alabama will kick it off to get us underway. Fields it just outside the goal line. Oh, he's got a crease here. Look out. Get some blocks. It's a foot race. Yes, all the way to the house. Touchdown.
I mean, that's exactly how you want to start a football game, right? We haven't even gotten settled in, and already they're in the end zone with the opening kickoff to this game. What blocking up front to free the return man for that touchdown. Outstanding across the board.
And it comes out of the 25. No return attempted there. So Alabama's offense will get the first swing today. And how about the game within a game today? The running back coming down here, the linebacker coming up to meet him. We expect some collisions on this field today.
Yeah, this linebacker's going to have his hands full because this running back is a difficult guy to contain. Both guys know where each other's going to be lined up at all times. It's just going to come down to which guy can come up and make a play against the other.
Tackle made after a big gain.
You know, Chris, if we would have told Bear Bryant that Alabama would have a wide receiver that won a Heisman in recent years, I don't think he would have believed us. But that's where we are. They've been some great ones in the past. We're seeing some great-looking receivers on this unit right now.
Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. Second down play coming up. Back to pass. It's Raiola. Receiver makes the grab. Brought down for a loss after the completion. Not what they were looking for. Now the offense facing a 3rd and long from their own 41. Quarterback drops back. And the sophomore's got him for a sack.
It just looked like the quarterback was holding on to the ball a bit too long that time, allowed the defense to be able to get the pressure, and they come up with the first sack of the game.
And on 4th down, the punter sends it away. And the fair catch signal. 1st down play call coming up. How aggressive will it be? Off the play fake, looking to throw. Buying time now, rolling to his left. He grabs it inside the 20. Looked like a total bust there. Easy pitch and catch like you'd see in a Tuesday practice.
Yeah, that quarterback's eyes must have lit up on that play because you've got one of your players way downfield without any defender around them.
With the PHC, they take a 14-0 lead. Fourth down. No punt. Out of field goal range. They're going for it. Here's the snap. Looking to throw here. Using his legs on the scramble. Got space. Looking up and over the man.
Wow. 1 minute this quarterback is surveying the field for an open receiver. The next, he's pulling it down, tucking the football, and putting into the end zone for a touchdown himself.
Important 3rd down play coming up. And he drops back in the gun. Looking for his big tight end. A bullet, but it's... Line getting set up. It's a first down play. Looking to throw it again. Quarterback moving out of the pocket, trying to create. Catch made, a lot of space now. Great move in the open field. Forced out of bounds after a big gain. This offense set up with a first down.
That is great arm strength and accuracy by this quarterback. Let's not forget the wide receiver's job of bringing it in for that big gain.
He's escaping the pocket now. Heads out of bounds after another big gain and a first down. This defense has not been able to stop the quarterback run today. Offense lines up. This is the 7th play now in this drive. What a weapon for this offense. A quarterback who can flash the speed and finish a Can they convert on 3rd down and keep this drive rolling? Play action fake. Looking to throw. He's moving out of the pocket now. Finds a man to the left. Big catch downfield. They bring him down, but an explosive play by this offense. Big gain. Defensive fans getting frustrated. Offense continues to march. On first down, it's play action. He's got it near the end zone. The defense makes a saving tackle at the 2-yard line. So here comes 2nd down now. Every play important down here in the red zone. Looking for 6. Critical 3rd down play for this offense right here. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. But it's incomplete. Down.
Interesting call here, Chris, to throw the ball on 3rd and short. Unable to come up with a first down. Now here at 4th down, you got a big decision to make. Do you kick the field goal just to add to the lead, or maybe go for this here with a chance to drop the hit?
Clock near the goal line. Offense getting set. 2nd down play here. They'll switch it up here, looking to throw. He's moving out of the pocket. Scrambling, now he'll make the throw.
Chris, you talk about having a day.
This one ended up being a blowout. They get the W, but they also make a pretty strong statement here today.
Yeah, I thought this game would be a lot closer, at least closer than how things ended.